Thank you so much for tuning in to Mom Jeans, trying to fit into motherhood.
Welcome back to Mom Jeans, the podcast. I'm Leah, IVF boy mom.
I'm Danielle. I'm a boy mom, a stay-at-home mom, and a military spouse.
And I am Lisa, a girl mom to 2 girls.
And last week, we had a call to action to ask you to weigh in on if you do family costumes for Halloween, being that Halloween is a few days away. We had asked about your opinions on family costumes and if you give your kids candy or subscribe to anything like the Switch Witch. This week, Lisa is bringing an article from Scary Mommy. If you haven't caught on, one of the things that I like about our new format is these are #blind reacts. I haven't seen the article. We don't know what we're talking about tonight. Lisa's bringing this to us, so you are getting our authentic, genuine, on-the-spot responses to what she brings to the table. So, Lisa, what you got?
Yeah, so we discussed family costumes, and so I was like, I wonder if there's any controversy behind family costumes, because of course there's controversy behind everything. So I typed in family Halloween costume controversy, and I got to scarymommy.com, and the girl, Sam Davidson, is the one who wrote this one. Was basically, I'll sum it up pretty quickly, but she's like, now listen, I'm not talking about the family attending the costume party together where everyone must dress up. I'm also not talking about the parent of a 3-year-old who's been begging the parent for months to be a particular character on the day. You guys get a free pass and even maybe a gold star. I am referring to the parents who decide their kids' costumes based on what outfit mom wants to wear and then go full glam. So she's saying next to the wagon with a woman dressed as like she was doing like a Disney parade. She wore a shiny ruffled corset top with balloon sleeves and a long hoop skirt that took up a decent portion of the road, which made me chuckle as soon as she said that, because I was like, is she more upset about the taking up the road thing? She said an oversized bonnet with lace trim, and she was carrying a cane. Of course. So she was a little Bo Peep. Yep. And then I noticed the man pulling the wagon dressed in some weird Amish looking gray suit to blend into the theme. I mean, was there even a man in the Bo Peep story? Isn't it just about a lady and her lost sheep? Maybe he was supposed to be a townsman who became part of the sheep search party. Either way, I hope the poor dude at least got laid for his neighborhood wagon pulling performance. Because there were twins, the 8-month-old twins that were dressed as sheep in a wagon. And so her point is like, she's like, I can get down on your kids like wanting you to do something, but it seems like many moms take Halloween as a #hot girl opportunity, choosing a family costume theme that allows them to wear full glam or some bodycon version of a costume to march around the neighborhood looking good.
Well, first of all, when you were describing the Bo Peep outfit, I thought we were going with a Toy Story theme here. That was where my mind went. I was like, oh, well, if someone's dressed up like Woody and then like whatever, right? But no, full glam. I am the opposite of full glam. In fact, last year we dressed up as astronauts and got astronaut onesies, which was awesome. They were so comfortable. They were pajamas. They kept us warm when it was cold outside. And this year we are dinosaurs and we got dinosaur onesies. And so I think that's going to be our theme, which is basically complete 180 from anything glamorous. It's not flattering, doesn't show any curves, not cute. I mean, I can maybe like lower the zipper a little bit if I want to, get scandalous.
Ooh, scandalous.
But yeah, no. I've never been into the glamorous Halloween.
No.
I did in college when I was in a sorority for the first semester. And I look back at those pictures and I'm like mortified looking at those pictures, thinking I looked hot in that outfit. I was like, oh, I was wearing fishnets and like, oh, it's so terrible. I'm like so embarrassed. Like I hope that picture never
That's how I feel
surfaces.
about all my
I
sorority
did that.
pictures.
I did that in college too. Yeah, I had the fishnet and then like the big boots that you could buy from Spirit Halloween. I was a police officer. Yeah, making my dad real proud because he's a police officer too. But no, there's a picture of me somewhere. Me and this other girl. Maybe she was a police officer too. We were frisking our friend. That picture's somewhere out there. Somewhere out there. So yeah, but I've done a 180 since then too. No, and especially because it's cold here, so we have to dress practical and warm. Last year we were, I was Angela from The Office. Ryan was Dwight, and so he got to wear a wig. My husband's bald, by the way, so the wig was really funny. And then we bought a little baby suit for Weston, and he had a cup that said "Best Boss,"
cute.
so he was baby Michael Scott.
You're gonna have
That's
to
really
send
cute.
us a picture of that, Danielle. That's super cute.
Oh yeah,
yes, definitely. That's such a great point because growing up, like it was either like 80 degrees or it was snowing and terrible out. But my early memories of trick-or-treating are like when I was like 8 to 10, like not young. And my parents never went with us, and there were hardly any parents that would go, like unless the kids were really young. So like I remember like my parents didn't even think of costumes. Like we would be like, oh my gosh, it's trick-or-treating day, because they didn't always do it on Halloween. And I would go look in the closet and see what costumes were left. And like one year I was a hockey player because that's what I wore my brother's hockey gear, which is disgusting to think about now because it is disgusting.
No.
And then I think, so gross. And then I think I was a clown one year because we had that outfit in the closet, and we never really prepared for it. But I was just listening to a podcast and the guy was like, I want my kids to see me be fun and participate in their activities. And if I just don't dress up, then I don't feel like I'm supporting them in this childhood memory of theirs. And I was like, oh, that's such a great point. And it was like a totally not parenting podcast. So I thought that was really cool to hear him say. And like, Brandon is totally not the kind of person that would typically want to dress up for these things, like let the kids do it. But he's been such a trooper in all of ours with Hannah. So that's good. And this year I'm like, we're doing a Grease theme because Aubrey has been said to look like Rizzo a few times. So we are going to, we got her a little pink lady jacket, and then Hannah can play off as Sandy with the blonde hair. So we're going to do that. And then he's going to be one of the T-Birds. So I was like, yeah, is that like weird that we're doing that? Because it's kind of like, like it's such a weird theme too, but I don't know.
I love it. I think that's so cute.
I think it's cute too because it's like inspired by Aubrey, right? Like it's not because you guys are obsessed with Grease. It's like, Aubrey looks like Rizzo, so let's capitalize on this. Like you've seen how much Hannah's changed since she's been born. She doesn't even look like the same child. So like Aubrey's probably not going to forever look like Rizzo. Sorry to all of our
definitely not.
For,
she's already changing.
The unpleasant listening experience due to my voice right now, but yeah. No, I mean I think that's super cute. Danielle, are you guys dressing up?
Yeah, so I was at Once Upon a Child and a costume just popped out at me. It's like this cute little dinosaur outfit, and Weston loves to put the little hat on, and it's like really padded around the bottom part. And he likes to wiggle his tail, so it's cute. So I just figured we would dress up like Jurassic Park themes, but I'm not even going to go as far as, I mean, maybe I should get like one of the pink button ups, like the OG Jurassic Park
with the short shorts, so. Danielle. Are you gonna wear the short khaki shorts?
Her shorts are like they're longer.
Length. I'm just saying, like you could make it slutty Jurassic Park if you wanted to.
I could. I haven't dressed slutty except that one time in college when I was a cop. I'm If you know me, I'm pretty conservative.
I'm trying to think too, even like where we can even wear our costumes together, because it's not like the girls are, in my opinion, I know this is gonna sound bad, but I don't want to trick or treat. Like I don't want the candy. I don't want the candy in our possession, and like, because if it's there, then she'll eat it, right? But I also like schlepping Aubrey around for that. So like music class, the girls can dress up for music class, so they'll be together, and like I guess I could wear my outfit too with them. And then both Hannah and Aubrey's schools will allow costumes, so at least they'll do that. We
weren't allowed to do costumes last year.
I asked this year, and I was told that the baby room is the only room that gets a pass on costumes, and none of the other rooms get a pass. And I was like, okay.
Well, I was thinking that we could, because I was kind of wondering too, like, where are we going to wear our costumes? We're not going to go trick-or-treating. Weston goes to bed way too early, right? Like, I don't want the candy.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
He's not going to know what it's all about. I was thinking we could wear him to the pumpkin walk.
No. That's a great idea.
Michelle,
that is a great idea. Yeah, it's interesting. So we've been running into people like all over the place, and they're like, Hannah, what are you going to be for Halloween? And she doesn't understand it. And so I'm like, I just look at her, and she's like, she just makes something up. Somebody's like, oh, are you going to be a pumpkin? She's like, yeah, I'm going to be a pumpkin. Someone's like, are you going to be a ghost? Yeah, I'm going to be a ghost. You know, like she doesn't comprehend. And we're reading books now, like Clifford's Halloween, to try and like, my aunt sent it to us and we read it, and she's like trying to grasp it, but she's just not there yet, you know. And it's kind of like, I'm okay with that. Let's hold off as long as we can on that, because, and that's the other thing too, like I feel kind of bad, but I'm also not going to buy 2 costumes for her to wear a costume to school that's different than the family costume, but nobody's going to understand in her age range what grease is. You know, the teachers will, so that's good. But yeah, I know it's a weird thing. I'm sure we'll get into, as the holidays come, how to treat Santa and all of that kind of stuff, because I have no idea how to navigate all of the stuff, because it's like the outside influences are the hardest part, right? It's like the parents. So there were grandparents in music class a few weeks ago that Hannah just went and sat on the guy's lap and sat with him the entire class, didn't come to me at all. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But he was asking her all these questions of like, what are you going to be for Halloween? Oh, are you going to go trick-or-treating? Oh, and, you know, they start to pick up on that stuff. Like, oh, what does that mean? What does that mean, trick-or-treating? You know, and I'm like, here we go. We got to get into real life stuff now. We don't have babies. We're not going to have babies for much longer. We're going to have to figure it out.
Well, yeah, and your baby's turning 1 in less than a month.
I know.
Wow.
I know. It's so crazy. It's just like, it's weird, like getting rid of baby stuff too, and being like, oh, this is like, we're gonna have a totally different life and a totally different like problems and thoughts and stuff. It's gonna be really interesting.
So Lisa, you said, right, your parents didn't plan much for Halloween, trick-or-treating, anything like that. Danielle, what was your childhood like?
My parents would always like drive us around to different neighborhoods, because my neighborhood was not a lot of houses, so we'd go down the busy street and I would just walk house to house, and my dad would just drive really slow, like he wouldn't let me get back in, because I mean there was no point, because they're all like lined up, and then he'd pick me up and then drive me back up the hill, and we'd go down another street. So we did, my parents never dressed up with us, but they did always like take us out. And I feel like my mom made a lot of our costumes. She would like make stuff. Nice. But then there was times that we could like go to the Walmart, and I bought like had a witch outfit one time. But I do feel like she really did kind of make things. She'd pull out her, I wish I knew how to do this. The, oh my God, I don't even know. What do you call that? I've had mom brain so bad.
Sewing machine?
Sewing machine?
Sewing machine. Oh my God. You guys. It's been a bad day. It's been a really bad day. Yeah, she'd whip that out and just like make something. She was so good. That's a skill that I kind of wish I knew how to do. My
mom was so good at sewing things, except I just absolutely hated it because I was not a girly girl growing up, and she would make us these matching floral print dresses and jumpsuits and this, that, and the other hoopla. And I have all these pictures of me as a child matching my mother in our homemade sewn, very conservative dresses. And I just absolutely hated it. But
that was a conversation I've had with Brandon is like, it really bothers me when sisters match perfectly. And I was saying that to Brandon, like, I think like Christmas pajamas and Halloween are the buys that I will do on matching. And not always, because like if Hannah comes to me next year and is like, I want to be a banana, I'm not going to be like, all right, Aubrey, you need to be an orange, you know, like that's like, I don't think that I'll get this for very long. So I'm like, okay with the matching, but I never want them to feel like, oh, I'm not individual. Like that was a big thing for me too. Like when Aubrey was born, I didn't want Hannah to have, or Aubrey to have a onesie that said little sis, because you're already labeling her as like, it's just like a thing that bothered me. So yeah, but Halloween's different. What was yours like, Leah? What was your childhood
My parents didn't do Halloween. So like we were the house that always had the lights off. They never wanted trick-or-treaters.
Yes.
I have, and it's not even a memory. It's just because there's a picture of it of me in a Minnie Mouse outfit one year when I was like 4 or 5 maybe. And then I remember dressing up like Belle when I was like 10 or 11. But like I don't remember anything else. I don't think we did anything. I know, there was like 2 years I went trick-or-treating and that was it. My parents are very conservative. And so to them, it was a frowned upon holiday. And I don't like the spooky stuff. So like Halloween's never really been my thing. I don't like the spooky stuff. I don't like the dark stuff, scary stuff, any of that. Like we have Mickey and Minnie Mouse Halloween inflatables outside our house right now. So like, it's like, if we can keep it wholesome. I did go to Disneyland for Halloween one year and that was super fun. They do a really good job with Halloween.
That is cool. I agree.
And yeah, so it's just never really been my thing. Steven loves it. He'll do the whole wholesome stuff with me. Like he's totally cool with that. But like he wants us to do things. He wants us to hand out candy. And so I'm like, that's fine. If we can be onesie dinosaurs, I'm cool with it.
I loved Halloween growing up because I was a big, I watched Halloween Town
on Disney Channel original.
I just thought about that earlier.
Yes.
My favorite. That and
I actually watched them recently because I have Disney Plus, and I was like, oh, nostalgia. I love this so much. But they're not spooky, right? They're cute. But I think it's because I just loved fall so much. And so all of the wholesome Disney Halloween movies were like the leaves were flying in the wind and the leaves were all changing colors and the cooler temperatures and all that kind of stuff. Like I think I love what it represents, but like scary movies, like I've watched them, but man, like I don't sleep for days after that because I think somebody's standing in my bedroom watching me kind of stuff. So it's not like, I love that stuff. But Brandon loves scary movies and he's like, I haven't watched a scary movie since you've been in my life. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Like, don't do it either. It's not going to be good for you. I sleep with a golf club next to my bed, for goodness sakes. Like, I'm paranoid as it is. We don't need to add in any thoughts into my mind.
Yeah. I feel like I've changed a lot. I used to love the spooky. I'm an October baby, so I love the fall. I love Halloween. And I still like passing out candy and dressing up and stuff. But yeah, I like the scary movies, not anymore. So I've changed, especially becoming a mom. So I was walking in the gym yesterday and they had like this zombie thing, like kind of like posted near the desk. And Weston was just staring at it. And I was like covering his eyes as we're going by. I'm like, I don't want you to see this. You're going to have nightmares. Like, so as a mom and then navigating, like, I don't know. I'm like, man, I'm going to shelter this child.
And I've tried to approach it completely differently. There's a person a couple of streets over, and Hannah loves going around seeing Halloween decorations, that has a Jason like I legitimately jumped out of my shoes when we turned the corner because I thought it was real. Like I thought it was a real person. It was so freaky. And they also have another like real sized person scary thing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to temper my emotions so that Hannah doesn't get scared. Right. So I was like, let me see how she reacts to it. And she like looks at me to see what my reaction was. And I look at her and I was like, what do you think? And she's like, I want to go touch it. And I was like, okay. Like, and I'm like, I still am like trying to feel out whether it's a real person or not. Like it really freaked me out. And I'm like, I gotta stay cool for her. But yeah, but you know, what's interesting with her in the older classes now, like she definitely hears other kids say things because she'll be like, oh, that's scary. And I'm like, the color purple is not scary. Like we are not, you know, like we're not correlating this properly, but like she's starting to hear kids say things and she's not quite grasping what they're meaning yet, but she will. And I'm like, that's going to be really interesting to see how we can navigate that, because right now we try really hard to be like, oh, you know, like whatever, food isn't bad. Like, oh, we love eating that, even though it's like, oh my gosh, so terrible. But we don't, she's so impressionable. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's so hard. Like, how do you manage those things, right?
Wesson learned a new word at school this week. And I just throw this in there because you're talking about Hannah saying that's so scary, right?
Yeah.
He learned the word no. And it has...
He just now learned that? Weston's known it for months.
We don't really say it, and like we don't say it often. There hasn't been a reason for us to really say it. But he learned it like Tuesday, and now it's this song. No. Steve and I are so bad because we just laugh because it's so dramatic and it's so over the top. No. So, anyways, I digress. I was like, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Weston does the no too. My favorite though is when he goes instead of uh-oh, he's like, oh no. He got that from my mother.
Harry. Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
I was saying I saw her the other day and I was like, so I heard you taught Weston something new. And she's like, what? And I was like, the oh no thing. And she goes, oh, I did do that.
It's so cute though. I love it. Yeah. It's cute when he says it.
It's just amazing.
Because I say oh man a lot too. And so now he's picked that up.
That's cute.
So Danielle, did you say you're going to go trick-or-treating or hand out candy or?
We're going to hand out candy. So I live on base and our street has a ton of kids. Like I think our street out of the whole base has the most kids. But they're running up and down. And so we usually have a little bonfire and just pass out candy.
That's what Bryce and McKella do that.
Yeah. So
Bryce loves seeing the costumes.
Yeah. And we'll probably have Weston dress up, but he goes to bed at 7:30, but it's dark here by then anyway, so usually trick-or-treating kind of trickles off. Sometimes you get the older kids.
Yeah, I can't remember how that works, because I remember when we were, like, as we got older, more rules got into place based on the city set more rules. Like, you have to be done before it's dark. It can only be this hour to this hour that you can trick or treat. Like where I grew up, they had a lot of rules because they were getting a lot of vandalism and a lot of issues happening. So and for safety purposes for kids and people driving and stuff like that, I know they were trying to rein that in.
That's crazy.
That makes sense. But yeah, we live on base, so it's just nice. So kids are just running. Usually their parents aren't with them, except the younger kids. And I probably won't take Weston. Just because, like, I don't let them have candy. I will say really quick, because some of the people have rings around here, like the rings cameras. Yeah. And if you're a military spouse or military member, you know there's a spouses page on every base. I'm there purely for entertainment, just to kind of read the comments and stuff. But one year someone posted a whole video of these two teenagers coming up to like, oh, look, there's a whole box. And they dumped it into their pillowcase. Pillowcase, and then ran off. And she's like, whoever kids these are, like, so disrespectful. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So
That's literally what you did as you got older. Like you just stole everybody's candy. My parents were definitely not that. They did not like handing out candy. So they would put the bowl out front and I'd like go out there 5 minutes after they put it out and all the candy was gone. And I was like, I said, Dad, the candy's gone. He's like, cool, we're done. Get it out of there. Like leave the empty bowl and we're good. We did our due diligence. And I was like, yep. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what about you guys? Are you doing candy, no candy? I think Lisa, you said no. Leah, you're just gonna pass out candy.
Weston will be in bed. There's no point for us to take him trick-or-treating for me to eat the candy. I certainly don't need that. And
I do. I remember my parents, like one of the last times I went trick-or-treating, we had so much candy. We filled the gallon Ziploc bags, and I think between Dan and I, my brother and I, we had like, I want to say like 6 gallons worth of candy. And my parents hid it, but we knew where they hid it. So we would go steal candy right after school when they weren't home. My parents were still working, and we'd go steal candy. And I was like, how do they not realize that this candy is all gone? Like, I don't understand, because they didn't want us even at that age to really have it. So
yeah. What do you guys think of the Switch Witch? That concept.
Well, remind us again what that is. So
it's when you take when your kid takes their Halloween candy and leaves it out front for the Switch Witch to come and take the candy and leave a prize, a toy, a book, or something like that.
My answer would be no, because then, then your kid might start believing in witches. So
fair.
That's just me.
Well, what about like Tooth Fairy and Easter Bunny? Like... Santa, like all of those.
I'm a really bad liar, you guys. So I don't know how this is going to go over with all the things.
Before we had Hannah, we talked about Santa and what we were going to do about Santa, because I have such a hard time with it. I mean, we've talked about getting into a religious episode. Like, I grew up super religious and I am not religious anymore. And so I think that the make-believe stuff is on, don't correlate those. That's not what I'm trying to say. The things like the Santa thing is really difficult for me, because like I've heard of people being like traumatized that their parents were lying to them all those years about Santa. But do you also want to be the kid or try to explain to your kid that Santa isn't real, and then they go to school and they ruin it for kids who do believe and parents who want their kids to believe, like it's going to be hard.
So I don't know, do we save this for another episode or do we just dive in? My parents raised us to not believe in Santa.
Really?
I've never believed in Santa. And as a kid, now I don't remember everything from my childhood, right? But I never remember it being an issue until I was in 8th grade and I went to a very conservative private Christian school. And there was a girl, which I thought this was very interesting, right? Because it's a private Christian school, found it like faith-based, right? Where, Jesus is the reason for the season. But there was a girl in our class who still believed in Santa, and they pulled
in 8th grade.
Yeah, I could say her name on this podcast because I so vividly remember it. And they pulled all of us aside from her. Like, there was a day that she was intentionally not at school. They pulled our entire class into the cafeteria to say, you guys can't talk about Santa not being real, because she still believes in Santa. Which I felt did her no justice. Like, that was not a cool thing to do, because then everybody was just like, she was already the target of like being made fun of things because she was a little bit.
I was gonna say, where is she now?
I don't know.
That's really
she might
rude.
live down the street, because the lady down the street told me she still believes in Santa. And she's like, I think my daughter still believes. I'm like, dude, she's like in 8th grade. I'm like, I don't think she believes. She's like, no, she does. I believe in Santa. I'm like,
my dad did the whole, if you don't believe in Santa, you won't get gifts then. And we were like, all right, we believe in Santa. Yeah, like, and we were old. Like, it was way past I knew Santa wasn't real, because so I had a best friend who I think she was like, I think like 4th or 5th grade, and her sisters one was in high school, another was in college. So she was like a definite oopsie baby. Like, she was so young. So they told her like Santa's not real, like super, super young. And so then she told me. And so then I told my mom, and my mom told my dad, and my dad was like, well, if you don't believe in Santa, you're not going to get any gifts. And I was like, I believe. If you need that, I believe, like whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if I was in like 4th or 5th grade. Oh, I had to be in 3rd grade actually, because my brother went to the army, so he left when I was in 4th grade. So 3rd grade is when I found out about Santa not being real, because we were sneaking downstairs. Him and his friend lived with us too, which I consider him my brother also. But we snuck in, and they were like just pulling their presents out, and I was like, but I thought Santa brought us our toys. And my brother was like, how do you think he gets to all the houses in one single night? He can't, so he drops them off early for parents to like wrap up. But yeah, after that I was like, I knew. So thanks, Steven. It's my brother.
I will say, I mean, I love Polar Express. I think that is a phenomenal movie. Like, I love watching, other than the fact that it's like 8 hours long. It's a very long movie. But it is an interesting way to approach that. I think it's an interesting, like, it's what my dad did. If you don't believe, then you're not going to get gifts. So
yeah, well, I cried when my sister stopped believing, and my mom's like, why are you crying? I was like 16, and I'm like, because I'm like, the magic is gone.
The magic's like, gone. Yes.
Yeah. And I will say, Santa didn't traumatize me. Like, I like the magic of it all, and it was fun, but it didn't hinder my belief, because I am Christian, doesn't hinder my belief in like Jesus and all things. But I will say, during that time, I don't think I didn't have a strong faith. We'd go to church here and there, but I didn't have that stronger faith until like now, like more recently. So it's probably why it's like it didn't bug me like too much. But that's just me.
And see, I never grew up with Santa, but I still always thought Christmas was magical. I always just like, whether it be the glitter, the sparkling lights, like everything of all of that, all of the Christmas movies, like my mom was so into Christmas. Like, our house was, she had a stupid budget for Christmas decorations every single year. And so like Christmas was very, very magical for us, even without believing in Santa. But what I did think was funny is that my parents still gave us gifts from Santa, but it was always like socks and toothpaste and like things that you don't really want as a Christmas gift, but that's what Santa would give us.
I hate Santa. I hate
Mom and Dad would give us the like big teddy bears,
like cool
and,
stuff,
all the fun toys and games. But yeah, Santa would give us toothpaste and socks.
Man, way to go, Santa.
So, but I think that was part of their strategy, right? Of like, we don't want to put all of this weight on Santa being real. So here you go. This is how much Santa likes you.
It's so interesting too to kind of like jump back to Halloween for a second. Like, I remember traveling to Europe during the fall and being like, oh, Halloween. And everybody's like, that's not like really a thing in other countries. And then I got to Portugal, and they had just started to do Halloween stuff. And they, like, I saw a few people in costumes and stuff like that. And I was like, they're doing Halloween. They're like, yeah, it's starting to catch on over here. Like, it's starting to be a thing. And I'm like, oh, it never even dawned on me that people don't do that. Like, it's the same thing. Like, yes, I understand Thanksgiving and I understand what Thanksgiving is, but that their Christmas starts so much earlier because they don't have that benchmark of Thanksgiving to start it after Thanksgiving. Like, when does theirs start if they don't have that kind of stuff, like that's interesting. I always wished Christmas lasted longer. It always feels like it goes so fast because you don't start it until, like, in this year, Thanksgiving's late. So you only get, really like 25 to 28 days of Christmas. And that's so short.
I decorate for Christmas with the first snow. which is potentially this Friday.
Tomorrow.
Which I was, when I saw the forecast this morning, I was like, I can't have Christmas and Halloween out at the same time. Like, November 1st can...
Sure you can. I mean, Home Depot does it.
Oh, man. Hobby Lobby does it all year round, so if you want to go with that.
Hobby Lobby doesn't have Halloween decorations. They only have fall decorations.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you know that?
Oh, because they're religious. Store. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the opposition to Halloween for Christianity?
From the way I was raised and some of the things that you can look at, I don't know. I mean, I think that the spectrum is very wide on why people are opposed to it, but there's a lot out there that it's the devil's holiday, it's demonic, it's worshiping the devil in some ways. So that's just a very dark holiday. And that I actually was watching this video that my brother-in-law sent me the other day, and it was somebody who was in a satanic cult and had left the satanic cult for Christianity. And he said that this was on Instagram, that at the prime hour would be 11 p.m. to midnight on Halloween that would be dedicated to worshiping the devil. And so Satan tries all year to get people to do things to follow him, to make bad choices and do bad things. And he celebrates Halloween because it's the one night of the year that he can get people he can more easily persuade people to do things that may be of a darker spirit or demonic, like all that, like scary horror stuff, right? So my parents always told us as kids it was the devil's holiday, and that we weren't to participate in that.
I had a student like that because we had Halloween games when I was a PE teacher in elementary school, and we were playing, I don't know, it was a different version of like dodgeball, but not dodgeball because I can go into that, but I'm not. But it was like called the Witch's Cauldron, and you had to try to get all the balls until like I had a big cone. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing." And there was taggers, and they were flying on their brooms. And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I'm a Christian, and I don't celebrate Halloween." It's like, "I'm a Christian too." And then I'm rethinking. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like was this game bad?" But all the other kids loved it, so it was fun. But
that's such an interesting pull from what Halloween means to me and what I think of for Halloween, as opposed to what it stands for.
Why was Halloween created? That's my question. Does anyone know?
No, I'm trying
the candy companies, or is it some version of like Day of the Dead?
I don't know. It's not Day of the Dead, and actually that's really interesting concept. I'm trying to find this video to see if I can play it for you guys.
It says AI says Halloween originated as the ancient Celtic festival, which was celebrated to mark the end of summer and the start of winter. To scare away spirits, believed the veil between the living and the dead was thin, so they dressed in costumes and lit bonfires to ward off ghosts, celebrate the harvest, and to mark the beginning of winter.
Interesting.
Okay. Do you guys want to hear this video? I don't know if we even want to dive into it, but
sure.
Let me see if you can hear it.
The truth about Halloween.
Can you hear it?
You being in Satanism and God delivering you from that, healing you and bringing you freedom. What are your thoughts on that?
October 31st is like the ultimate day. It starts, it's like Christians, Easter and Christmas all rolled in together. The celebration usually starts at dusk and goes on. The golden hour is 11 p.m. to midnight. That's when the most demonic forces are out and about and active. People should not participate in any way, shape, or form because you are worshiping the devil. There is no two ways about it. I mean, he's real happy that Christians allow their kids to serve him one night of the year.
Let me know your thoughts and share this video.
I thought that was really interesting. obviously we're dressing up and doing like the fun, wholesome Halloween stuff. But I thought that was really interesting. Just
we'll be dinosaurs.
Yeah, just with having the way I was raised and stuff like that, right? Pretty aggressive standpoint, I think, but you know.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because it's like, you know, you think about how far Christmas has come from what Christmas is supposed to be, and how far all of that stuff has completely like been lost in the years, like the many years of it. So that's a very interesting take. But I think, you know, I was just talking to Ryan and Michelle about it because we will talk politics a lot. And I was like, you know, it's a very sad thing that we feel, and I don't think it's just this country, I think it's many places, that everything has to be so polarized. I walked into the MVD today and I saw something and it triggered me so badly. And I was like, that makes me really frustrated that I let that get to me. That is so stupid. And why are we taught to hate people who don't believe what we believe? Because that's going to be a really challenging thing to try to overcome as a parent, right? Like, just because, you know, whatever, I could go down a rabbit hole and we could dive into that forever, but it's really sad to me how we have to be so one way or the other, and there can be no gray. We have to be black or white, and there's no in between. It's tough.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, we definitely need a disclaimer.
I was going to say we need it at the beginning of this episode because we talk about Santa. We like this one's like a don't listen with your kids in the car type thing.
Listen around your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that
True.
I think if I can teach Wesson one thing, it's to not be polarizing. It's to not, you know, not react that way, to hate people who don't agree. I think there's so much that you can learn from people who you don't agree with. And I don't know. I mean, my full-time job is operating in those 50 shades of gray. Like, there's no black and white in what I do. And so, I think that's been a good lesson for me.
Love that you said that, because I 100% wanted to be like, oh, that's what kind of work you're in?
I use that term all the time because people are like, we're navigating in the gray. I'm like, yeah, we're navigating in the 50 shades of gray. Like, there's a lighter gray, there's a darker gray, there's everywhere in between. Some people laugh, some people don't.
I just got that.
I've never seen that movie or read the book. I don't know anything about it. Well, I mean, I kind of know.
Time out. I mean, Leah is not in the line of work that you are leading to believe based on 50 Shades of Grey. Just going to tell you,
I'm in human
she's
resources.
Not a dominatrix. She's in human resources, not a dominatrix. So, yeah. Don't worry, guys. But totally okay if she was. Totally support her in that.
Probably never going to go to that extreme, but we might get some feet pics here.
Oh, I'm in. Yes. Mom Jeans does feet pics to be able to hire a social media person for us.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, yeah, we definitely.
Yes. I would I'm also going to put a disclaimer on that. Please do not watch the movies because they casted it horribly.
Oh, you don't think I thought everybody thought that girl did good.
Dakota Johnson. Is that the right one?
Yeah.
Is that it? Or just make that up?
You're right. Lisa, you're saying no?
That's just as bad as Kristen Stewart on Twilight.
Have you ever seen?
I love Twilight. I love Twilight.
It's so cringe. She's just like,
no, Lisa, go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm here. I have to stop banging the table because my camera doesn't like that. But that just makes me so. I love Twilight.
Do you love Kristen Stewart?
Listen, it was a very formidable time in my college life. And I still to this day want her to get back together with Robert Pattinson. Okay.
Oh,
so like
I don't think that can happen. I think she's went to the other side. She went to the other side.
She did, and he just had a baby. And he just had a baby. So I think we're out on that. It's not going to work for me.
Okay. Two
things. She shouldn't have cheated on him with the producer or whoever, the director. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that lasted like 3 seconds.
2 things, Lisa. I also love Twilight. Wildly obsessed with Twilight. Totally agree. That was very formidable years in college that I was reading that book, staying up late at night, right? Like, totally agree with that.
Totally.
Second thing, have you guys ever seen Anna Kendrick do her impersonation of Kristen Stewart?
No.
Yes. Oh my God, she does it so well.
Does she?
She does it so.
She's like
so well.
Like,
I don't think Anna Kendrick's a good actress either. I think she's horrible.
I think she's so cute. Her. I love Pitch Perfect. She's not. Yes.
Talk about polarizing opinions here.
Right.
I think she's a very bad actress. Like I love Pitch Perfect and I love the Pitch Perfect movies, but she is so bad at acting.
Have you seen her in did you see Up in the Air? Okay.
No.
She plays different characters. And I think I don't know. I really like Anna Kendrick.
She was really bad in Twilight.
Anna Kendrick was in Twilight?
Yes.
Yes.
She was
that was her first role though. That was her first role.
I don't care. She's so bad.
Kristen Stewart's so bad. Okay, listen, I do love the Twilight movies, and I did see them, and I loved them too. But as I get older, just watching people make fun of those movies, I'm like, I get it.
Fun fact: Emmett's mom was my Bible study leader.
Right?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, they went to our church, and he went to my high school.
That's crazy.
But yeah, his mom was my Bible study leader.
Wait, which one's Emmett?
Is it the
blonde?
The blonde
vampire?
Yeah.
Friend.
Well, that was with Rose.
Mm-hmm.
What? The big guy? The hot one?
Mm-hmm.
He went to your high school?
Yeah.
What? Oh, so you mean his real mom?
Yes.
Not the screen mom?
No, his real mom in real life.
That would have been cool.
Were you friends with him?
I knew him, but no, I wasn't friends with him. He was older than us.
Man.
But yeah, his mom was our youth.
That's
group.
cool.
Well, our girls' Bible study leader. And then yes, trust me, in high school he was the hot guy walking around high school. There was him and this other guy named Garrett. Garrett had a baby with he's been in a bunch of movies too. What's her name?
I will say, I love to read, but if I know something's going to turn into a movie, I don't want to read it until I see who they cast. Cause I was destroyed on how they casted for 50 Shades of Grey. I was so upset. And I think that's why I love Twilight so much, because I saw the first movie before I read anything. So I saw the first movie and then I read the rest of the books because I had to know what happened. And it was such a great way to do it.
Well, Twilight's super interesting too, because it was intended to be a low budget indie film. And it wasn't intended to be this big Hollywood film. And actually there's interviews with Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson saying they probably wouldn't have signed on to it had they known that the fame that was going to come from it.
Really?
And the author, Stephanie Meyer, is from Phoenix. And so she
was a member at the club I worked at. I knew her husband really well, but they did part-time Phoenix, part-time up in the Northwest.
Forks.
So they were gone in the summers.
What was that, Danielle?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I said y'all know a lot of cool people. That's awesome.
Don't know any of these people. Maybe new people in high school, but no, it's just funny because in the beginning of Twilight she talks about a dance studio on 56th Street in Bell, and I grew up half a mile away from that. So
that's cool.
But yeah, so that was a fun tangent, but very polarizing. Kristen, that should be a poll on our social media. Kristen Stewart or Anna Kendrick?
I mean, I know who's gonna win, but ridiculous.
Well, here, what if we
don't have the right following yet?
What if we clarify it, Lisa, of Kristen Stewart in Twilight or Anna Kendrick in Pitch Perfect? So it's like, I feel like that levels the playing field because generally speaking, Kristen Stewart is like very cringy. But maybe she played Bella Swan appropriately.
I mean, have you guys seen her in interviews? Like, that would be like being in an interview, to be honest. Just your average Joe. I don't know. No,
I can't get over it. I can't.
I would do better than that.
But, like, it's funny because Brandon, like, I don't watch movies. I haven't watched a new movie, and I think the last new movie I watched was like 2 years ago, and it was Parasite, and I was like, I'm still scarred by that stupid movie.
No, I thought it was very interesting, that movie. The one with the subtitles, right? It was like weird.
The subtitle. Yes. Yes.
Never heard of this movie.
Yeah. No, it's actually, I thought it got like all sorts of nominations.
So then we were like, oh yeah, it won tons of awards. It was well done, but it was very mind blowing. I was going to say the F word, but it was a big mind blow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was.
I mean, the kids aren't listening to this episode already. I should have just said it. But so like, I just don't watch movies at all. So then I like the few movies that I do watch, I'm like, nose in the air. I could act better than them.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Well, I will say, and this will be the last thing I say, but I just watched Nobody Wants This on Netflix with Kristen Bell. It was really good. Yeah, it was super cute.
Oh, I heard that was really good.
I've watched the first episode, but I will tell you this. I am just wildly disappointed in the way Adam Brody has aged. Like, he was such a heartthrob, and
people are like obsessed with him because of it.
I do not see it anymore. Like, I'm so upset about it. And so I'm having a really hard time because I love Kristen Bell. I think she's awesome. And I just think...
You're talking about the male?
Yeah, Adam Brody. Because he was in OC.
He's kind of cute.
Yeah, and he was...
Well, I mean, maybe he has to look that way because he's supposed to look like the
rabbi.
Real person in real life. Yeah, though the real story, he wasn't a rabbi. He's a music producer because it's based off a true story.
I didn't know that.
But they made it juicy by making him a rabbi. But in real life, the person he's playing is not a rabbi.
I like... Instagram's loving him, like obsessed with him and that.
I know, and people are saying that he's hot, and I'm just like, I mean, they call him Hot Rabbi in the show, and I'm like,
oh.
I would say more like cute. I would describe him.
I loved the OC, and cute. I loved One Tree Hill, and Chad Michael Murray, and Adam Brody.
I loved One Tree Hill.
Well. And it's upsetting.
He's Chad Michael Murray's in something now, right? Send him a letter. You are not cute anymore. What happened to you?
Get some Botox.
I thought men were supposed to age well. What's happening?
What's your diet like?
It's not Tom Brady's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, seriously. Dude, talk about Botox and face work. Rough.
He's gone a little bit too far.
It's horrible.
He's gotten to the point where it doesn't move anymore, and you're like, you probably should have stopped a couple years ago.
Like, quick question, isn't our intro like we're non-judgmental?
Towards other moms. Okay.
Like real people, like real.
Thank goodness Anna Kendrick and Kristen Stewart aren't moms. Because, man, I've been
or listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
This has been fun tonight, guys.
Yeah.
And so much for our short episodes. We're already over an hour.
Well, we started recording before we started recording. So,
yeah.
Yeah, about 4 minutes. Yep.
No, it was like
I thought it was like 15.
Yeah.
It's like not 2 hours. Yeah. So
Okay, so our call to action is the poll of Kristen Stewart or
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick.
Who do you choose?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make
the better actress?
I'm going to make so many Finstas just to be able to vote my way. I'm going to have like 18 Finsta accounts just to win my fight. I'm not competitive at all. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to see the results of those come in. I mean,
okay. Yeah. No, I'm so excited.
And if
I clarify, do you think all her other movies are good?
Kristen Stewart
or just Twilight? Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I've seen anything else with her in it.
Okay.
Isn't she mostly in indie stuff, or is she in anything good?
She was in Amityville Horror. That was kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't watch that stuff. I will say I watched a movie because it was. This is gonna throw you back. I had the DVDs of Twilight, all of them, and you know how they all did like ads before, like advertising movies, and there was one with Robert Pattinson, and I was like, oh, that movie looks so good, and I went and I watched it, not having a clue what it was about, and it was a 9/11 thing, and he died in the end, and I was crushed. I was like,
he did really well in that movie, though. That movie was really good.
He did awesome. Oh, it was crushing, though. It was like, I don't watch movies.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Chris when he died in Harry Potter, too.
I don't watch movies. Here's the one.
When he played Cedric and he died.
Oh, sorry, Danielle. What'd you say?
That's when he played Cedric and died in Harry Potter.
Yeah, in Harry Potter, yeah. But he was just a young buck at that point. Not even recognizable.
So I'm looking at Kristen Stewart's IMDb, and I got so mad about this because I am obsessed with Princess Diana. My mom was obsessed with Princess Diana, and she played Princess Diana in Spencer, and I remember being so mad about it because I couldn't get through it.
Why would they cast her for that?
I mean, I can see the resemblance. Like once they put her in the makeup and the costume, like I can see how they put her there, but like
interesting.
That made me really mad that Kristen Stewart was in that.
Too bad they didn't use who they used in The Crown.
She's so good.
I don't know her name, but
yeah, she was good. I watched her in the movie with whoever the producer was that she cheated with. I watched that movie, and I didn't think that movie was that bad with her in it. What was that called? It wasn't Maleficent.
Are you talking about Snow White and the Huntsman?
What was it called?
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
I'm like,
that one wasn't that bad. She didn't do that bad in that.
I don't think I actually saw that one.
But
all right, now we really have to end it.
She was in the 13th Year, guys, talking about Disney Channel original movies. She was Girl in the Fountain Line. Do you remember the 13th Year? It was where the kid turns into a fish. It's probably on Disney Channel. It's pretty good.
How old was it? What year was that?
So again, Disney Channel original movie was 1999. After he begins to throw fins and slimy scales on his 13th birthday, Cody learns that his birth mother is a mermaid.
I remember that. Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I totally remember. She was in that?
That is her first role, uncredited, Girl in Fountain Line. So now here's another call to action. If any of our listeners can send us a screenshot of Kristen Stewart in the 13th Year, I'll send you a prize.
Yes. Do you think that's gotta be on Disney Plus, right?
It's somewhere because I actually saw it like probably within the last year, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this movie.
I bet it's Disney Plus.
So it's gotta be.
Gosh, I could go down the rabbit hole of all of those movies that they made. They made some really good movies.
Xenon.
I mean, for my high school self. Oh,
Xenon was iconic.
Danielle was so excited. Oh, yes.
Xenon was absolutely iconic.
Xenon was good. I really liked Brink.
Oh,
yeah, that's a good one. Man, you're bringing me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had a poster of him.
I loved that. I love Johnny Tsunami. There are so many good ones.
You know, the one that I don't, well, I did like at the time, but now I don't like anymore is Smart House because of all of the like smart technology we have in our house. And I'm like, Steven, you have to watch this movie. Like the house locks them down and like takes control of their lives. And like we have Alexa listening to everything we do. Like, yeah, I get all worked up about Smart House regularly.
Yeah.
It's crazy how, it's kind of crazy how like visionary they were on that stuff.
For sure.
Crazy.
Okay. So, y'all, we're going to wrap it up. But we will post a poll.
Vote on our poll.
If you prefer Kristen Stewart in Twilight or Anna Kendrick in Pitch Perfect, there is a right answer. And if anyone can find...
Yep.
We need to discuss the terms of how this poll is going to be written. I don't want any swaying.
No, I'm gonna just like that. Do you prefer Kristen Stewart in Twilight or Anna Kendrick in Pitch Perfect? I don't feel like there's any bias written in there.
Yeah. In the poll, can you post the music with the Cup song with Andrew?
Oh, she's so good. Her voice is so good. Her voice is so good.
Yeah, no, I love her voice.
Got tickets for a long
Yeah, and then she sings in Trolls too.
What is the prettiest? I didn't like that. There's a troll song that comes on Hannah's radio station all the time, and I'm like, I hate this song. The Colors, True Colors. I thought she was, I hated her.
I don't like the True Colors rendition either. I skipped that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't like that one.
I went in this poll.
Well, we're not talking about Anna Kendrick in Trolls singing True Colors because there's other troll songs that I do like.
Here's the thing. I feel like this is apples to oranges. Like comparing Kristen Stewart in, like who's a better actress is probably the better way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to lose that. I will definitely lose that because people hate Kristen Stewart because of what she did to Robert Pattinson. Not because she's a terrible actress.
Or a terrible interviewer. Just awkward.
Yes, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Can we just rephrase it? Is Anna Kendrick a good actress? Yes or no? And then C other, and I will write terrible. Very passionate about this, you guys. I have made a comment to my HR person today who is a much younger person than me that I had a bee in my bonnet. And he is like, what does that mean? I was like, you've never heard the term a bee in your bonnet? He's like, no, I don't have a clue what that means.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
what?
So like
you have never heard that?
A bee in your bonnet? Yeah, it's like when there's something like that just irks you and you cannot get it out. Like it makes you so like I like, okay, for example,
you're frustrated.
Yeah, I get it. I just have never heard that before.
It bothers you more than it should.
And I'm like visualizing it, right? Like a bee stuck in your bonnet. Like
yeah,
would
a bee in your bonnet. Right? It's stuck. It's stuck in your bonnet.
It's like it's pestering.
But I've just never heard that before.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard
I think it's a very southern thing.
Cave? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got a booger in your
My
nose.
boss was the one who taught me that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. In high school, there's snow on the mountains or something when your bra strap was showing on your shoulders. Something like that. I don't know. I got that all the time and I was like, just leave me alone. Just go away from me. I don't care.
Man, if our bra strap was showing, we'd be going to detention.
You whipped with a ruler.
Yeah, 3 fingers.
Oh, well, we had school uniforms.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
No butts, bras, boobs, belly. There was a 5th one, and I can never remember what the 5th B was, but there was 5 Bs. So. Okay.
All right.
The third time's the charm. We're going to wrap it up. Somebody please send us a picture of Anna Kendrick in the 13th year. Okay, thanks. Bye.
No,
not Anna Kendrick.
I will really give you a prize if you can get Anna Kendrick in that movie.
Kristen Stewart in the 13th year. That's a wrap.
Okay. Bye. Oh, I love it.
And that wraps up another episode of Mom Jeans, trying to fit into motherhood. Thank you again so much for listening to us. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider giving us 5 stars so other mothers out there like you can find us and listen. If you would like, you could follow us on any of our socials at Mom Jeans the podcast. If you have questions, would like to send us your birth story, or give us suggestions or things that you would like to hear, please email us at hello@momjeansthepodcast.com. See you next week.